What's going on, YouTube? Um, so I guess this will probably be the video a lot of people have been waiting on. Well, a few people. I don't have that many subscribers. Like I said, I'm fairly new to trying to make, updated videos as we go here quite a bit. But so I wasn't really sure how to start this video off. I kind of have a couple different areas that I want to talk about. One being the promised video that I said I would last week or so. The numbers from Traveloko. I can give you those numbers. The other thing I want to talk about also a little bit is the overall experience right now with Traveloko. Oh, that was probably loud. Sorry, guys. So I guess here's the deal. I'm in I think I just finished up my third week. And, one thing I told you about me and what I was going to do on this channel is I wasn't going to sugarcoat nothing. I was going to tell you the real deal. Good or bad, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to be like a lot of these people out here on YouTube and, they dance around the subject and they try to make theirself, their situation not seem as bad as it is. I'm not like that. One thing you will know about me is I tell shit how it is. I mean, that's just the bottom line. Regardless of what I'm doing in life, whether it's trucking, whether it's, whatever. Anything in life, if there's anything that I'm knowledgeable on, I'll tell you. I don't sugarcoat nothing. I don't try to, boost things up, more than what they are or none of that. But at the same time, if there's something negative, I'll give it to you. I'll tell you. At this point, here's my experience. I guess I'll tell you my experience right now first before I give you my numbers. It's been a struggle. There's no other way around it. It's been really tough. Right now, honestly, I'm on the verge of losing my ass. When I say losing my ass, I mean losing my ass. It's serious. Quite frankly, I don't give a shit what anybody who's watching my videos, based off the information I put out there. I don't care what their opinions are. I really don't. I have my own opinion, obviously, in my own situation. But whether the way I do things is right or wrong, I don't care. But I'm out here on the spot market. I'm trying to learn still. This is all new to me. I'm trying to get acclimated. I'm still 3 weeks into it. I've got the broker stuff down, I think, for the... there's still a little bit of room to grow, I guess, with negotiation. But I'm not doing bad. As far as that goes, I'm not doing bad at all. However, so far, my experience at Traveloko, right now, because I'm at Traveloko right now. So, you do some research, do your homework, whatever other people on YouTube you've watched, that's either, talked about Traveloko or going to Traveloko or about their numbers or about how good they are, about how bad they are. Do your homework on them videos and find out if them people had actually been to Traveloko before you start, making opinions and judgments and taking everything at face value. Now, I'm going to tell you straight out, right now, I'm at Traveloko right now, as the few of you that do follow, So the numbers I'm going to give here and the situations I'm going to explain in this video, just know that that's what's going on right now at the time of this video. That's my experience. So and I'm sorry about the overcast. I know I'm doing a sleeper sleeper video in the truck. Normally I'm in the driver's seat, but I'm actually in the back now. So but just know anyway, like I said, this is this is what's going on right now. This is the way it is right now. This is my personal experience. I'm not saying everybody's experience is like this, but right now I'm struggling and I'm losing my ass. What I mean by that is, before I give you my numbers, let me explain to you why. As far as these rates go, and this is not in any particular order, but as far as these rates go, I'm getting okay. I'm getting okay rates. Even everybody saying the market's down. Yes, the market is down, especially compared to last year. But I'm still getting a very good overall average rate per mile. As far as the gross goes, I don't want to say I'm below average, but I'm probably about average right now, with still room to grow. But I have a problem, and here's the problem. The problem is, so far, every single load that I book, I can get the money for the most part. I don't take cheap freight, and that's what a lot of people out here have to remember about spot market, that I am learning. I mean, I knew this before I come over here. I knew this before I come out here on the spot market. I'm not going to haul cheap freight. I'm not. Matter of fact, today is July the 3rd. And there was a lot of opportunities for me to take a cheap freight and get myself out of a bad situation. And I refused, because I'm not going to haul the cheap freight just to keep moving. Now, is that probably going to cost me? Yes, that's probably going to cost me my ass. However, the problem I'm having is every single load that I take, it's costing me a shit ton of time in the docks. Doesn't matter if it's load time, doesn't matter if it's unload time. The rate is not what's getting me, it's the loss of time, because every time I go to load or unload, it's taking me 4 to 6 hours each end of the load to get in and out. So you're looking at, 4 hours on the load time, 6 hours on the other time, on the unload time. I mean, there's 10 hours right there just in dock time. Yes, you get detention and all that, but you're not making detention time enough to cover a day's loss. For example, here's what happened to me right now today and last night. I booked a load that picked up it picked up in Illinois, and it was coming to Columbus, Ohio. I had to sit on it for 2 days. So I asked for a fairly decent rate. I probably could have got more, not much more, but I could have got a little bit more, I think. But for right now, I'm still trying to get acclimated with how much is too much. So I asked, I think the load, as far as the rate per mile, I was getting like over $3 a mile, like $3.33 a mile, I think it was. So I think it was like 348 miles with 20-mile deadhead, I believe, I think. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. But I asked for $1,200 on the load because I had to sit on it for 2 days. However, here's the catch. Now, I got the $1,200 and I ran the load. However, here's the catch. I couldn't pick the load up until 9 p.m. that night. And then when I delivered it, or I'm sorry, I take that back. My mistake. I got the load as soon as I got there. I'm sorry. However, the load didn't deliver until last night at 9 p.m. So I got here last night over here to basically Columbus, Ohio is where I was at. I got in there delivered at 9. I got there at I don't know, 8:52. So I got there just right before my appointment time. It didn't take long for me to get in the door. However, it took 6 hours to get unloaded. The infamous Capstone Logistics, as we all know. Anybody that's dealt with them, they know they can be slow as shit. It took me 6 hours to get unloaded in the dock. So, what's that mean? Well, that means if your appointment's at 9 o'clock and it took 6 hours, I pulled out of the dock and got the green light at 3:15 a.m. this morning, Eastern time. Well, by then, I'd already been up, I got up early that other morning. I got up 6:30 in the morning because it was hot as shit, not 90 degrees, 95, 99 degrees actually outside. So, the truck wasn't keeping up with the heat and all that stuff. So, basically what happened was I didn't get out of the dock until 3:15 in the morning. Okay, number one, there's no freight at 3 o'clock in the morning, so you're done. And I planned on that. However, I didn't plan on being on the dock for 6 hours. I planned on being on the dock for 2 hours, okay, which would make me getting out of there at 11 o'clock at night. I'd go find somewhere to park, shut down for my 10-hour break. Not a big deal. Start relatively early-ish the next morning, or this morning, being Wednesday, July the 3rd. So that didn't happen. So by the time you take a 10-hour break, and by the time I found somewhere to park, it was 4 a.m. this morning. So as you can probably assume, I was tired as shit. So I went straight to bed. So now here's what happens. On the spot market, you got to be up and on them boards at 7 a.m. when them brokers come in and start posting on the boards. Because, yes, they're constantly posting all day long, but you got to be on there to get a decent load, that's not some bullshit or that you ain't got to sit on and all that for an ungodly amount of time. This is what I've learned in 3 weeks. You got to be up and ready to go at 7 in the morning. So I had to change because a lot of times I slept in, I stayed up late messing around on my phone after I shut down, take my 10-hour break. And a lot of times I didn't even get up until 8 o'clock, just depends. Well, now being out here on the spot market, I can't do that. And I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. It's not a problem. So what happened was, now I got up early than expected, and that's because it was, again, 90 degrees and shit this morning, and I got woke up because it was too hot. So I don't auto the truck. I do have an APU, but my APU's on the quirks right now. So the problem was, now I can't technically start my clock until 2 p.m. today. So I got up, got myself motivated. I was still tired as shit, but I started getting on the boards. Boom, boom, boom. Making phone calls, watching the board, trying to find something to go. Well, when you starting at 2 o'clock and you're not ready until 2 o'clock, these other brokers, they need stuff going now. You got to be ready to be going. You got to already have fresh hours, that early in the day, and you got to be ready to go. So that was part of the problem. And I knew this was going to be an issue before I even, got into this, for today anyway. So what happened was, now I'm kind of sort of screwed. because I can't start my day until 2 o'clock. So I'm trying to find a load. I'm phone calls after phone call after phone calls. You know, I just couldn't find nothing that fit for me. So here's one of my problems, and I'm not saying this is everybody's problem. I try to stay off of the East Coast. Now that is becoming a problem for me. I try not to go past, I try to preferably not go past Columbus. Now I have done a lot of East Coast in the past with other carriers. I'm not scared to go out there. I definitely don't go to New York. I'll just tell you right out, I'm scared to go to New York. And I've got no shame in that. Fuck New York. I don't want to be out there with 1 billion people on the road. I just don't. So I'm not scared to go out into the East Coast. I've done a lot of the East Coast in the past. But as an owner-operator, preferably, you know, that's a whole different area that I've not experienced as an owner-operator. So I prefer to stay out of the East Coast. Now, that's becoming a problem because that's where a lot of freight is going. That's where a lot of the good freight, paying freight, is going. Coming out of there, you know, you got to kind of be in the right areas to get something good. You got to go in the right direction. Okay, we know all this already. So what the problem was, I was holding out, trying not to go to Pennsylvania. And with tomorrow being the holiday, being the 4th of July, anything you do, going anywhere for that matter, you're going to sit on it. You got to take a long run. You got to sit on it for 2 days. It'll deliver Friday. So now trying to find a decent load that pays enough to cover my overheads. And I'll get into my numbers in a minute, and you'll understand why I was very precise in holding out and trying to hold out. So long story short, the end result is I didn't get a load. I lost a day. I'm probably going to get screwed tomorrow. I don't know yet because tomorrow hasn't come. I haven't been on the board. A lot of places are going to be closed. Your grocery warehouses and stuff will still be open. They run 24/7. They don't shut down. But again, that's a whole nother can of worms that you're looking to run into because of all the lumpers and the delays and dock time and all that shit. So tomorrow's going to be a whole nother ball of wax that I've yet to face. So hopefully, with my fingers crossed, we can make something happen. But I lost today because of the 6 hours in the dock time, you know, this morning, that caused me to not really be able to do a lot of loads because I couldn't start in time, couldn't get there in time. So that created a big problem. That was a snowball problem. So because of all the loads that have already been picked and booked today, being the 3rd of Wednesday the 3rd, everybody's already got their shit and they've got their 2-day runs already gone. So now I'm trying to find a load on the holiday, a major holiday, when a lot of places are going to be closed. It's going to be really tough. Not to mention, I'm not the only truck that's going to be watching the board for a load for tomorrow. So today was a pretty challenging day. So that's where I'm at right now. I didn't get nothing accomplished today, and it's costing. My expenses are very, very high, and because they are very, very high, I have to be selective. I just cannot take the cheap freight. I'm sorry. Some guys might be like, well, you know, some revenue is better than no revenue. To a certain extent, in my opinion, that's not always the case. You can't always just move cheap freight. Because, again, what you got to remember is you have, you know, averages out here on these lanes. And if you start taking the cheap freight just to keep moving, you're going to drop that rate, and it's going to make it harder the next time you need to come out of there. So you can't just think about, oh, I got to keep moving. So it's a very tough decision, and it's a very tough decision that I'm having issues with and I'm struggling with. But I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to keep going. But unfortunately, I may not have the time to learn it anymore. So I know this is a lengthy video. It's 20 minutes long. I'll get into my numbers. Here we go. This is the brass tacks numbers. You want to know about Traveloko's expenses? I'm about to give them to you. So, I'm going to skip around here a little bit, but bear with me. Catch it on a replay, rewind it, do what you got to do. The two big expenses up front with Traveloko, you got to have, if you get a new trailer like I got, a brand new one, you're just renting it. You're not buying it. It's not a lease to own, nothing like that. There's a $750 deposit, okay, for the trailer rental. You don't have to pay that up front, but you do have to pay it in weekly installments. And I've got my stuff wrote down here. I believe the trailer deposit installment is $100 a week. Okay, so I'll try to go a little slow, but I gotta try not to make this video that long. The other big deposit is your insurance deposit. You've got a $2,500 deposit that you have to pay. Again, it's a deposit. It's $2,500. They don't expect you to pay it all up front. So again, you're looking at what is the deposit on that? $250 a week. Okay, so there's $250 plus $100. Okay, for just the two main biggest deposits. So you're looking at $350 each week up front until you knock those down. Okay. Upfront cost, you have $360 for your ELD. That's up front. You got to pay that up front, out of pocket. Okay, but let's put that aside for a minute. Don't even ignore that $360, because I want to get on the weekly breakdown. I don't, I just want to stay what the weekly deductions are. So because of the ELD, what that is, they charge you $7.50 a week. Okay, so it's not bad. It's fine. You can handle it. All of my insurances, everything, the bobtail, the occupational, the cargo, everything. I'm looking at, I don't know if my occupational is in there or not. I don't think it is. I think I separated it. So, but anyway, it's $310.96. The other insurance I have, and I think this might be the occupational, I think, is $29.38 a week. These are all weekly costs. These are set fixed costs. So then obviously you have your trailer rental fee, not your deposit, but you have an additional $225 for your trailer rental, okay, a week. That's kind of high, but we already knew that going into it. Then you've got a $2 a week for your trip pack cost, and then $3 a week for your direct pay. Your direct pay to go straight to your bank account. So, real quick, I'll run them down. ELD is $7.50 a week. Insurances is $310.96 a week. Your insurance deposit is $250 a week until that gets, till your deductible drops down. Your occupational is $29.38. Your trailer deposit is $100 a week until that $750 is depleted. $225 for your normal trailer rental a week, plus $2 for your trip pack and $3 for your direct pay. That totals $927.84. Okay? As a weekly deduction. Now, that's going to drop. Keep in mind, that's going to drop $350 after what? After I think the first one is 7 weeks, and the next one after that is another 8 weeks. I think it is, so 16 weeks, something like, I don't know, somewhere around there, 16 weeks. You'll be completely done with $350. So keep the main number to worry about for right now when you first start out is $927.84. Now, my truck, because I have an SFI truck with the mandatory maintenance that they take out every week, and they factored in as it was one payment, that's $1,043 a week. Boom. Every week, set fixed costs. Now, you take the $1,043 and you add on the $927 a week, and you're looking at what's that? $1,970, $1,970 and some change. All right. So that's, now keep in mind, this is also before any fuel. So then on top of the $1,970, you got to factor in whatever your fuel and stuff is. Now, at first, I was factoring in $1,000 for fuel a week because that's what I was used to doing when I was over with Snyder. Just about $1,000 a week on average every week. So I started factoring that in. Well, it's actually less than that. It's a lot less. So the first week, okay, so the main thing is keep in mind of the $1,970. That's pretty much all in except for fuel. My first week, I spent $688 in fuel. Okay? Hell of a lot different. A lot lower than when I was running with Snyder. Week 2 was $640 for the week. And then this week, I'm at a little bit higher because I ran a little bit longer miles. I'm at $706 right now, and I've got a half a tank in the truck. I will probably have to get a little bit more, maybe, fuel before the end of the week. So it just depends. That $706 number is probably going to come up just a little bit, but let's factor it in right now as it sits. So if you average them, first 3 weeks in, I'm about $678 a week average on fuel. So I'm doing great there. The one thing I did not do, I didn't do it on paper. I forgot to, and I apologize if you're going to ask this. But you might ask, well, what am I doing for miles? Well, I did forget to write them down when I was looking at them, and I do apologize. But I do know when I was looking at it without adding it up, it's because it's that much of a difference. I am doing it a lot less miles, than what I was with Snyder. So here's the big problem. Now, if you factor in, $1,900 and you do, $600 and however much dollars on fuel, you're still looking at, like what, $2,100, I think it is, isn't it? Or I'm sorry, not 21. Duh. Like 28, 2,900, somewhere around there, just depending on how much fuel you actually use, to break even. Okay, that's astronomical. Okay, I know some of you are like, holy shit, how's this guy doing it? Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm on the verge of losing my ass. I'm really struggling. I'm in panic mode right now, trying to figure out how to make this work. It's not Traveloko, per se. Traveloko is a great company, and my experience with them has been awesome. I had a little bit of hang up with my initial dispatcher, but Traveloko got right in there, took care of the problem. Boom, no issues. So the problem is my deductions are sky high. And it's hard to find the brokers to want to pay you. They want you to sit on a load for 2 days for $700. You can't do that with expenses like this. You just can't. So then it comes down to, do you just take it because that's the only thing available and you got to make revenue? Or do you say, no, you got to hold out. You got to try to hold out. So that's the part I'm learning, So right now, where I'm at is I'm in a very, very tough predicament. I'm not going to lie. I love having the freight availability as what I've got access to right now with the DAP board. But I will not let my business go under. So I'm really faced with a dilemma: is can I tough it out long enough? Can I afford it, basically? Because my finances are in the shitter right now. I mean, that's just coming to you straight. I'm giving it to you in the raw. It doesn't matter. I run the Midwest states. I'll go to Texas, Oklahoma. I just come back from Oklahoma and back. That's why my fuel costs were up a little bit this week. I'll go to Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, Kansas. I just try to stay out of the Midwest. And maybe that's my problem. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. I don't personally think that you cannot make money without not going to the damn East Coast. I just cannot. I've got drivers that I'm friends with that argue against that. And their notion is you got to be willing to go where the freight's at and the money's at and all that. And that's great. I'm not saying they're wrong. But I am saying I just disagree that you cannot make money, or you can't not make money by staying out of the East Coast. So I don't go out west, obviously. I mean, all the Midwest states, there's like 8 states: Indiana, Iowa, Ohio, Illinois, Missouri, Kansas, Arkansas, Tennessee. I'll run them states all day long. Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Michigan's, I'll do a little bit of Michigan. No Minnesota. Wisconsin, I'll do Wisconsin. So, I mean, I don't know how many states that is. You know what I mean? So, it's just hard. It's very hard to find the brokers that are going to pay you what these runs are worth. Like I said, I'm averaging still over $2 a mile, which is really good compared to what I was doing at Schneider. But all I did was double my expenses. So even though I'm making more, I'm averaging dollar per mile more, my fuel costs are lower. None of that means shit if my deductions are twice as high. So there's the numbers. If you want to come over here, that's what you're going to expect. Now, if you've got your own trailer, great. I encourage you to do that. If you do not have an SFI truck and you've got a truck from a dealership and your payments are monthly, great. Come on over. I can't say how well you would do because, I mean, everybody's costs are different and everybody's income is different. Everybody runs different. Everybody's expenses are different, as far as that goes on the truck. But I will say you definitely, I think you can do okay if you do not have an SFI truck and you do not have these numbers for a trailer. So, right now the decision is, like I said, I'm in panic mode. Right now my bank account cannot afford any more learning curve time, I guess, so to speak. So within the next couple of days, I'm probably going to have to make a decision. Either I got to pull the plug and do something different, or it'll probably put me out of business. I'm going to do everything in my power to not, let my business go, obviously, because, I just don't think it's that serious yet. But, some people warned me it was going to be tough. And it is. It is tough. It is tough. I'm not saying that, go back to a mega carrier. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that I'm not even per se contemplating it. But I am saying at the end of the day, I have to run my business the way my finances require me to run my business. So, you know, if my problem is because I don't go to the East Coast states and that's my problem and I'm limiting myself, then, you know, I'll have to either make a decision to be willing to do that or don't, and, you know, either suffer the consequences if that's the issue. My gross numbers are down. Last week, all I did was break even. I made a truck payment and the trailers and insurances. That's it. Paid for fuel. I didn't make a paycheck at all. And that's because of all the goddamn dock time. Every load, 7 hours, 6 hours, 4.5. You know, I mean, it's just on both ends of the load. So it kills you. When your expenses are this high, it kills you. It's not Traveloko. It's not, I'm going to even say it's not even the brokers. Even at the shitty rates that they're giving us, if you can maintain, I personally feel, if you can maintain at least a $2 a mile average, even with my high expenses, I think I'm okay. However, with my expenses, we figured it out. I've got to be grossing about $4,800 a week. And after all deductions and expenses, I'd bring home roughly, well, this is with those 2 big deposits. While those are still coming out, I'd be making about $1,300 and some change. But once them come off, you know, then obviously I'd be at, you know, you just add on $350 onto that. So, you know, 15, 16, almost 1,700 take home. So I can live with that. Okay. Honestly, I can pay my bills and live comfortably off bringing home $1,300 a week, but it has to be consistent. And I cannot do it if I'm getting killed in the docks. That is the problem. Getting killed in the docks. It's not the rate. It's not where I'm running. You know, it's not willing to move and work. It's none of that. It's getting killed in the docks. That's what's screwing me. So, all right, this video is long as shit. It's 37 minutes and counting. So I hope this helped out a lot of people. Please, if you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. I may not get to it as soon as you comment, but I will get to it, I promise. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up. You know, I'm not trying to be a YouTube star. I don't want to get involved in all that other crap that comes with it, and drama and all that. I don't do that. So that's where we're at. So if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. It doesn't matter. You know, whatever. Comment down below. Hit the subscribe button, because I am the channel that will keep it real. All right, you guys be safe out there. Thank you for watching. I appreciate every and each one of you. Stay tuned. I'll try to keep the videos coming with my experiences. Doesn't matter whether I'm here. If I'm sitting in a truck stop because the load screwed up, it doesn't matter. I will try to keep them coming. If I'm entertaining enough to keep your interest, great. Hit the subscribe button. Until next time, we'll see you later. Give me some knuckles.